I hope my camera lens is clean. I left it run. Isn't that sexual? Alright. So this is some of the family farmland. Old man's farm. Just finished work, so I thought, well, whilst I got the opportunity, I'll make a video and explain a few things. Tell a little story maybe. I hope you can hear me alright. I've still got my helmet on, obviously. So, behind this hay shed here, which is falling down, used to be a fence line that went down to, I believe, it's a bit hard to tell, those trees over there. This used to be 50 acres, it was never square. Anyway, we used to work with a lot of open cab tractors, so it was always cold. But even with the big tractor, this paddock used to be spooky. And the reason why is because this had Atsy's little house out here, temporary dwelling whilst they built their big house, which was up here. Now, and this was their underground tank, which you can see is fairly deep, and that was the cellar. And the reason this was spooky, and always up this end, this is the southern end, is because way back in donkey's years, someone fell down the stairs into that cellar, broke their leg and died. So that's why I think it was always spooky. So that's and this is our hay shed, which is falling down. We don't use it anymore, obviously. So this used to be the hay shed paddock. Then there was the middle sand paddock and the bottom sand paddock down there. There was a couple of fence lines in, which no longer exist. Someone else owns that up there. We've got cousins on that side, an uncle in the middle, then there's us again. When we go to the Bitumen Road, and Dad's place is over there, or old man's place as he'd much rather be called. And that across the road used to be owned by the family, but that's now owned by the next door neighbour, which is a good thing. And yeah, I've got a couple of days to run amok whilst, well, tomorrow's off seeing her sister at the moment, and she's due, tomorrow's due on Monday. I'm going to work until she says that she's ready to go. So I thought I'd ride around today. Tomorrow I'd do some work at home. And today I'd go see the neighbours and dick around a bit and just try and relax. I'll take the old 1000 out for a ride because I won't be able to ride that much longer. It's getting too cold. This morning was really foggy, but yeah, and cold. So I chickened out, took the car this morning. Just listen to that purr. Isn't that sexual? That sexual line is purely taken from a mate of mine. He's just got this weird sense of humour. So I can remember as a kid, we used to, well, I was only a kid, but Grandpa and old man and Uncle Des used to tail lambs in this little section of yard behind this shed here, rather than take them all the way back to the house. Tail lambs, get any crook livestock in and just sort of filter a few out and put them in here and get the one that he wanted. Things like that. And right out by that tree somewhere out there is a trough, or was a trough, and then there's a trough here and another trough there, because that trough used to be for this section, and That trough there, I think, did both sides. I think the fence went over it, or to one side of it, I can't remember. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go for another ride, see what else we can film. I'm not even gonna get off to get this video. There's the old colour, and there's the red and white one. That's actually the Bomber. There you go. I used to work for these guys. That's someone's private plane. So there you go. Bit of eye candy. So we split some wood for the next few days. And I've been thinking I should make another trailer for the ride on, just for shits and giggles. Got that today. Been working on that pile over there, which is nearly gone. The other pile is for next year, and probably the year after that, and there'll be more added to that shortly, no doubt. This here, I'll split this by hand. This is
a palm tree or something.
Yeah, it's some sort of palm. I reckon it's Cocos palm. It's weird. You put the block splitter in the middle and you just lose the head. You've got to hit it right on the hard edge. And it's only hard, you know, about an inch. Probably up to that there. You can see the texture of it. There's a couple of pieces on here. There used to be 2 palm trees down the side. So yeah, I've done some tidying up, cut all the weeds. And there's some more stumps for another bonfire. I still haven't picked the metal out of that one from all the chairs and stuff we burnt. And yeah, I still haven't picked up all that scrap. That was here when we bought the joint. People just like to tip things out. Anyway. Mrs. has gone to the doctor for a checkup. They can't call me out to work if I can't hear the phone, so I'm going for a ride on the Dirty 400. So away I go. It's 4 in the morning. Just finished loading the train. So that's gone. Gonna go and park this old girl up because she needs a service. Jump in the old bus and do some lifting. Some heavy lifting. Pump some weights. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. Righto, hope that stays there. Let's get going. So anyway, what I was going to talk about was bad drivers. Here I am, skipping 2 gears. Anywho, when we went for our bike course many years ago, I don't know if they still teach you how to ride and stay alive these days, but pretty basically what they said is be alert to your surroundings. And see, I think I actually got my bike license before my car license, so they probably helped me a fair bit throughout the years. And a lot of people seem to look straight forward at where they're going. You know, like when you're coming up at an intersection, that's the most dangerous place you can be, especially if you're on a bike. So what they taught us is to look down the side roads. Unbeknown to my passengers, I quite often do this as I'm coming up to a intersection. I'm looking left and right, you know, up to a kilometre back, watching the tree lines, you know, looking for potential catastrophic scenarios. Especially when you're on a motorcycle, you just never know whether the person has seen you. So there's that. Mobile phone distractions. You know, like as much as I'm recording this, I'm not actually touching my phone or anything. Barely even looking at it. But, you know, like when you're coming up to an intersection, if it's in dry weather and it's a dirt road intersection, you know, you can look for dust, and you know, at night time you look for headlights. And then you get those clowns that don't drive around with any lights on. And you're doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. So you can't protect yourself from every moron out there. This guy's got his high beams on. I mean, I know it's daylight and all, but bloody hell, my retinas. So yeah, being aware of your surroundings and what's behind you, that's something to take into consideration. What's up ahead of you will change. It's the easiest thing to see. So, you know, you can devote a bit of time whilst driving to look out to the side and go, there's a road coming up, I better just check that there's not a car going to meet me at the intersection at the same time. We've got a wide load coming. I think you'll fit if I hug the edge of the bitumen. Oh, there's Jared. I just finished work. It's 8:30 in the morning. Started at 2. I don't think I've done my hours today, but I'm buggered. So before I become a hazard, I decided to leave. And so yeah, after all, we're driving big machines. So that's the other thing, being fatigued. If you're tired, just pull over. Have a sleep on the side of the road. Lock the car, crack your windows so you don't suffocate. One person may not, but if you, we had hypoxia in a car once from a car look like it's going to fucking pull out. Proof in the pudding there. From 3 of us sleeping in the car one night, we're all having weird dreams and woke up all fucking gaga and whatever. So, yeah, 3 of you could do it over an 8-hour window, but one of you maybe not. So yeah, crack a window so that you can breathe. That was in a Datsun Bluebird, and believe it or not, it seemed to be fairly airtight. So yeah. Well, I want to say hypoxia, we were suffering early stages of. So yeah. So you just pull over and have a fucking kip. If anyone knocks on the window, they'll be just checking to see that you're alive. And I think that's far better to do than risk it. They reckon driving tired is equivalent to driving drunk. So anyway, we were just driving through Balaclava on my way home. Woohoo! Everything else is going good at the moment. Doctor's appointment the missus had yesterday. Doctor said, I'll see you soon. So we're getting close. We're past the due date. So yeah, thought I'd go for a ride. I checked the fuel and I had heaps of fuel in the bike. And this is in the 400. I'm calling it the Dirty Whore 100. Yeah, she'd almost caught me out because the tank rusted out. My old man and my brother fixed up the tank because it's actually my stepmom's bike. I've just got it for a little while just because it landed in my lap because the 1000, the starter motor died. I rolled up at old man's, the starter motor died, wouldn't go, so that's still at old man's. And yeah, I mean, it's never had a starter motor. Not in our time. We've had it for 20 odd years. So anyway, that was the other one that's going to be in earlier in this video. And the 400, well, the Dirty Whore 100 is the black one with the primer tank. You'll see it a couple of clips before this one. Anyway, I thought I'd go into Balek and check the mail because I was trying to make it home on the way home from work, make it to the missus' appointment. She left before I could get there. Rather than her being late and us have to push it to get there on time, I just said, look, I won't go. Rode the bike in, ran a bit funny in Balaclava, switched over to reserve and it ran alright. Got the mail, put the parcel on the tank, you know. It was only a light one, wasn't going to scratch it or anything. Rode home, got to, I don't know, just past the river and road turn-off, and it goes burp, 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 bah. I'm like, oh no. Anyway, that tank, from what old man tells me, doesn't get fuel from the right side to the left side where the tap is without shaking it anyway, let alone the fact that this plastic liner thing that they spun around in there, like a liquid form when it goes in to seal the tank again, they didn't tell me that, you know, it ate a fair bit of the reserve capacity up. So yeah, I didn't get home. I was nearly had to push the thing, but I managed to splash enough around and it fired up and got me home. I was riding it back and I was trying to work out what was going on with the thing, so I was just riding it back and forth up and down the road in front of the house, and it did it again. So then after getting a torch out and having a look, yeah, it's got bugger all fuel in it, and you know, like you can see that plastic liner in there has done its job and probably sealed a bit too much of the tank, but anyway. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, just I ran out of fuel. I was lucky to make it home without pushing it. Not that the walk wouldn't have done me some good, I need to lose some weight, but anyway, I'm getting a bit fat. So yeah, today I might push it up alongside of the VT and do a comparison video if I get a chance, because essentially the 400, it's a VT 250 frame with a VF in it, so V4. Yeah, so it's a 400cc engine in a 250 frame. The only thing they really did is they widened the frame a bit, I think, and they put a rear disc on it, because the 250's got a drum on the back, but it's still got the same size tyres and ventilated, well, same size rims. Back tyre size is a bit different. It's got a bigger tyre on it. And they changed sprocket ratios and things like that, but that's minor details. You know, like essentially in a nutshell, they changed the rear rim to have a ventilated inboard disc brake, the same as the front, whereas the 250 had a drum. And they changed the tail on the bike a bit too. It angles up a little bit different. The tank's a little bit different shape because it's a bit bigger bike, so I think it's got a bit bigger tank. I don't know. I can't remember. I never rode this bike much before I had my licence, but I rode around on the back of it with my stepmum and my dad, or old man, as he likes to be called. Yeah, and it's been in the family one way or another for 20 years. It's a good bike, and yeah, learner approved. So yeah, that's a bit weird, but anyway, they seem to reckon a 400cc bike these days is learner approved. Yet when I went for my licence some 18 years ago, they said we had to stick to 250s, and we've got an MVX 250, which is the predecessor to the NSR, which, when they're all going properly and, you know, synchronised carbies and good, like all synchronised properly and everything like that, and you can really pour the fuel into the thing, it goes better than that 400. You know, the 400 being 4-stroke and 4-cylinder, has it for about 50 to 100 yards, but after that the MVX 250, you know, 3-cylinder 2-stroke, it eats it up, spits it out the back and asks for more. But anyway, but we were allowed to ride them back then. There was only a couple of bikes that didn't come to Australia because they deemed them too dangerous. It's bullshit. The only thing dangerous about a bike is the operator. Just like a firearm, it's the operator. Just like a car, that's the operator. So yeah. So in a nutshell, I'll do another video. But yeah, we're just coming in Horbury. There's a car in front of me. His trailer lights aren't working properly. Anyway, minor detail. It's funny how things change. When I did my licence, it was a 3-second gap. Now when they sit their licences, it's a 2-second gap, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. 3-second gap, when someone jams their brakes on and does it properly, gets, you know, as close to 100% braking efficiency with that car without ABS, because ABS you only get about 75%. You know, and if even when you're watching, but if you're not, I mean, you've got a hell of a drama to bloody try and pull up in time. Neighbours. So yeah, turned in home. Alrighty, it's time to sign off. I might go and push that bike up and next to the other one and do a video. Wake the missus up, she's probably still asleep. Slacko. Although she did get a rude waking up call this morning when my boss rang me and told me to come in, because the phone's on her side of the bed. I don't know why it's got to be on her side of the bed, but it is. You'd think it'd be on my side, being that after hours, it'd be me that's getting the call. But anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, I'll shut this old girl down. It's the other thing, people switch their cars straight off. You should run it long enough just for everything to equalise. For the block and the head, and even though this is an all aluminium engine, you know, like, wait for everything to equalise, the piston to bore tolerances to, you know, do their magic, because the temperatures will all come to some sort of agreement. And, you know, not, what am I trying to say here? They're never going to get perfect. I mean, you got a raging fire sitting on top of a piston. The heat's got to go somewhere. So, you know, it's always going to be hotter at one point than the other. But, you know, let it equalise as best as possible before you turn it off. So, yeah. Anywho, see you around the traps. Alright. So we got both of them here. When you can get a good look at them. There's essentially not a lot of difference, except for one's a VT and one's a VF. They changed a few things, sure, but the concept was really, they made that one, then they thought, hey wait, we can fit a bigger engine in there, and so they whacked a V4 in, and yeah, same front wheel, I think it's even the same size tyre. So they've both got inboard ventilated disc brakes. This one's been riding out in the mud by the looks of it. Probably when Shane had it. Anyway. Although this one is a little different. This is an anti-dive, I think, off memory. Or part of the anti-dive. Well, the 250 doesn't look like it's got it, so there you go. There's one difference in the front brakes. But I bet you they run the same pads and same disc. Anyway, so you got two sticking out the front. You can see two muffler pipes, whereas I've only got one, and one out the back. I mean, this one's got two out the back. Water cooled, one radiator. I don't know whether that one's any bigger. Obviously the indicators different, but I think, off memory, depending on what part of the earth you're on, there is a 400 out there, I think, in the American market that's got an indicator here, like the 250. I think. I could be wrong. Or that could be someone's mashup. But the fairings are similar. Actually, it might even be the same. It's just that these are blanked out. I know when you get the 750 in America, a lot of these are some of the 750s got in America and Canada have got indicators in here instead of like that. They're not genuine, but yeah, they've both got dual exhaust pipes. Both got the same sort of rim, only this one's got, well, same style of rim I should say, but this one's got a disc brake rear end and a different swing arm. Whereas I've got the little drums which squeal a little heart out when you stand on them. So yeah. So you got the VT, which has the same oil level indicator. I wouldn't be surprised if that outer casing wasn't interchangeable, eh? But anyway, it might not be. I just wouldn't be surprised if it was. The VT do have this plastic cover too. There's one in the shed that never got put on. They didn't all have it. See, even some of these, there's so many different variants. The 250 has a air cover that goes over here, and so did the 400. Then there's like the F2s, which had the fairing come all the way down here, down like this, and around. And yeah, I think the tank's a little bit bigger. on the 400. But essentially, like, even the dash is the same. And it's got enough fuel in it to run. I just wrote it up here. It's cold, so I won't go giving it any stick. Probably won't sound as good to you as it does to me. And I found that CBR riders think that these V4s sound funny. Well, I guess it's an acquired taste. Some like red wine, some like white wine. So yeah, and in the American market, they still market both of these, the 250 right through, as the Interceptor range. We don't call them that over here. We call them for what they are. But I guess the Interceptor sounds cool. I mean, they're probably some of the fastest bikes on the road in the 80s. I mean, this is not the fastest bike in the world, but it's no kitten either. In saying that, you can wind that off the clock, no problems, as well. Back in my younger days I did. Well, if not this one, probably the other one. But anyway, one of the two of them. Yeah. So, you know, there's just little differences. You look at the tails and the seat. You know, that's just plastic though. I don't know whether they did widen the frame. I'm not going to get the tape measure out and measure it. It looks like they did. Yeah, they did. That is a lot wider. But it's almost the same bike, in a nutshell. Just some upgrades. So there you go. There's a comparison. So of all the spare parts I've got, there's a 1000 engine that's seized up, because you can see the oxide happening there and all the aluminium components. Someone let water get down the airbox when it was parked out in the wrecking yard. So the carbies are a bit sad too. But I don't have a starter motor. The only thing I don't have, and that's what died on the 1000 the other day. Mind you, it's never had a starter motor. Not in the time we've had it, so... You know. I just realised, I got 61 subscribers. Woohoo! Wicked sick. Alright, see you all on the flip side.